Hello everyone. Very good afternoon. Here we start our first lecture of HTML, which is Introduction of HTML. Here we will learn all basics to advanced concept of HTML. So without further wasting much time, let's start. So the first topic of the HTML series is the brief history of HTML. Means what is the history behind the HTML? How HTML developed? What is the main reason behind the developing HTML? What is features? Why HTML is important? Why HTML is so much important? So let's start our lecture. So the first topic is brief history of HTML. So in 1980, Tim Berners-Lee, a physicist who was a contractor, proposed a system. That means in 1980, Tim Berners-Lee, a physicist who proposed a system. What system? HTML system. So that that's why Tim Berners-Lee proposed this system. So he is a father of HTML. So who is the father of HTML? Tim Berners-Lee is the father of HTML. And the first description of HTML was a document. That means the first when HTML was proposed, then this description is for documents which is called the HTML tags, whose proposed by Tim Berners Lee in the late 1991, and the first version of HTML is HTML 1.0, which is proposed in 1991, and the latest version of HTML is HTML5, which is proposed in 2008. So this is the brief short history of HTML, which is it is proposed by Tim Berners-Lee, who is the father of HTML, and it is proposed in the year of 1980 when its first available description of HTML proposed in 1991, and it is called the HTML tag, and the father of HTML is Tim Berners-Lee. First version of HTML is HTML 1.0, and the latest version of HTML is HTML5. So this is all about the brief history of HTML. Now comes to the next topic, which is version of HTML. At the current time, there are only five versions of HTML. The first version of HTML is known as HTML 1.0. Second version is HTML 2.0. Third version is HTML 3.2. Fourth version is HTML 4.01. And the latest and the fifth version of HTML, which is proposed in 2008, is known as HTML5. So let's come to our first version, which is proposed in 1991 by Tim Berners-Lee, HTML 1.0. It is the first version of HTML, and it proposed in 1991. Then comes to second version, HTML 2.0. It is the second version of HTML, and it is the standard language version for website design. HTML 2.0 was able to support the extra features of form-based file upload. That means in HTML 1.0, we don't have the extra features like the form-based file upload, file form element, text box, open option button. These all features are not available in HTML 1.0, but these all features are now currently available in HTML 2.0 when HTML 2.0 is proposed. Now after HTML 2.0, the HTML 3.2 means third version of HTML was proposed, and this version was proposed in 1997. This version is also capable for creating the tables and providing the support for the extra options for the form element, and these features are not proposed in HTML 1.0 or 2.0. After HTML 3.2 means third version, we came to fourth version, which is HTML 4.01. This version was released in 1999 December, and it is the very stable version of HTML as compared to HTML 1.0, HTML 2.0, and HTML 3.2. It provides the added support for style sheet CSS, means HTML 1.0, 2.0 and HTML 3.2. These whole three versions are does not provide the added support for CSS, but HTML 4th version, which is known as HTML 4.01, it provides the added support for CSS. Now after HTML 4.01, we comes to the our latest version, which is HTML 5. This is the newest and the latest version of HTML, and it is proposed in January 2008. The two major organizations, one is World Wide Web and the second one is Web Hypertext Application Technology Working Group. These both the organization involved in the development of HTML5 version, and still it is under development, means still new features are comes and many other new features are maybe coming in futures in HTML5. But the latest version at the current time of HTML, means hypertext markup language, is HTML5. So this is the whole version of HTML. HTML first version is HTML 1.0. It proposed in 1991. HTML 2.0 is the second version. HTML 3.0 proposed in 1997. It is the third version. HTML 4.0 is proposed in December 1999. It provides the added support for the style sheet CSS, and HTML latest version is HTML5, which is proposed in 2008. Okay, now comes to some basic concept. What is HTML? What is the full form? What is hypertext means? What is markup means? So HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language, means the full form of HTML is H for hypertext, HT for hypertext, M for markup and L for language. So the full form of HTML is Hypertext Markup Language. HTML is widely used for creating web pages and web applications. So this is the main reason of HTML why it is popular, because in this whole in this whole world, not a single website where the HTML is not used. Every website HTML is used. Without HTML, website structure cannot be developed. HTML widely used on the the third topic is HTML is widely used on the web. We can create a static website by HTML only without using CSS, JS or any server-side language. We can create a static website by using only HTML. HTML is a markup language rather than a programming language. So the most important this sentence, that HTML is a markup language, not a programming language. Most of the people thinks HTML is a programming language, but it's totally wrong. It is a markup language, not a programming language. In HTML is an acronym which stands for hypertext language. That means the full form of HTML is a hypertext markup language, and HTML is used for creating web pages and web applications. What now the most important thing is, what is hypertext means? Means what is the meaning of hypertext? Why HTML is not a programming language? It is a markup language, because hypertext means text within a text. What hypertext means? Text within a text. That means whenever you click on a website or you click some random word, then you goes to another page or you transfer to the another page. So that single word or that single sentence is known as a hyperlink. That means link to another page. So that's why hypertext means text within text. That means in a text, we have another text. When we click on this text, that means this is the hypertext. See, a text has a link within it, it is a hypertext. That means whenever or when any text having the link within it, then it is a hypertext. When we click in a link, it brings us to a new page. So the link where we click is a hypertext. So that it elaborate very well that when we click in any text and it brings us to the another web page or another page, that links is known as a hypertext. Markup means, what is the meaning of my markup? A markup language is a computer language that is used to apply the layout and the formatting convention to a text document. That means a markup language is basically used to format or apply the layout of a page or layout of a text document. That it provide a layout of any text document. Sim Simple language, in simple language, we can say that markup language makes text more interactive and dynamic. Means markup language can helps us to makes our text more interactive or more dynamic. Now comes to what is web page. We know what is hypertext, we know what is markup. Now the next thing is that what is a web page. So a web page is a document which is commonly written in HTML and translated via web browser. That means web page is not it just a document which is written in not a normal text or any other file. It is written in HTML and it is translated via the web browser and it display and the web browser display a web page to us. A web page can be static or dynamic. So we know very well a web page. There are two types of web page. One is static, one is dynamic. Dynamic means more interactive. We can very well use it. It's very useful user interface. Or static is something like which simply we can design a static website only by HTML. But when we need a dynamic website, we know very well what is HTML. We are very much familiar with the CSS, JavaScript, and the server side language. HTML, a markup language which is used for creating attractive web pages with the help of styling and it looks nice forward. So as we know, HTML is a markup language and it creates attractive web pages with the help of styling. HTML documents is made of many texts. So simply we have seen HTML documents is made of many texts. Text is nothing but it is just like a container. Suppose we see in our kitchens we have some boxes where we put some dals and some rices. These box is just like a container, or we can say that a water bottle. It is also just like a container. So HTML tag is just like a container where we contain the different elements. So these are called the tags. Now comes to the most important things. What is we written in this type? So these are known as the comments. Comment is something which is not display on the web browser, but we write comments for our help. Now come to the syntax of HTML. So the syntax of HTML is the first tag is doc type tag. This tag defines that this is a HTML document. It tells to our browser that this is whole documents is a HTML documents. Now comes to our next tag, which is HTML tags. This text informs browser that it is a HTML document. HTML tag, and this tag is a container of all other tags available in our HTML documents. And one another thing is that every tag having a opening or a closing tag. That means if any tag is open, it must be closed this tag, except some tags like some BR tag or HR tag. These are not a closing tag, but the most of the tags are the closing tags. Now here we will see the two tags as doc type HTML and HTML tags. Doc type HTML tags, it define the document type and instruct the browser about the version of HTML. Means it says to our browser that it is a HTML5 documents, and HTML tag, it defines to browser that it is a HTML document and it is the container of all other text present in our HTML5. The text between HTML tag describes in the web documents, means whatever we written in our HTML tag, between the HTML tag, it shows to our web pages. Now after, the third one is the head tag. Head tag is the first element inside the HTML tag. Means after the HTML tag, the first tag comes is the head tag, which contains the metadata and it is closed before the body tag open. So what is the importance of the body head tag? Head tag contain the metadata. What is metadata? Metadata means the information about the documents. Means the document, what is the perspective to write this document. This document is right for what? What is the main reason behind this whole document? What is the keyword and what is the single word meanings of this whole document? This is written in the head. Means head contain the metadata, means the information about the all the documents and why this document is written and what is the conclusion or what is the summary of this document. After the head, B comes to the title tag. So here we have the opening title tag, some content and the closing title tag. Title, as its name suggests, it is used to add the title. Means title tag is used to suggest the title of our HTML page. Means it provides the title of our HTML page and it appears at the top of our the browser window. Means title tag is appear in our top of the browser window. So here we can see what is the use of title tag. Now here title tag, opening tag, some content, and here we will see the closing tag of title. Every tag is open with angular bracket, title, close, content, and closing tag means slash angular bracket slash title tag name and angular bracket close. This is the structure of write any tag. How to write any tag. Now comes to the another. Here we can see the head tag open and the head tag is closed here. Now comes to our body tag. So body tags, the text between the body tag describe the body content of the web page visual. Means whatever we write in our body tag, it is visible to our web page. And this tag contain all the main content of HTML documents. Means the whatever we write in our body tag, it shows and it display in our web page. And it is the most important thing that what we have display and what we were display in our web pages we write in a body tag. Here it is our first heading tag, which is the h1 tag. It is the heading tag and text between h1 tag describe the first heading. Here we will write the h1 tag. Heading tag are six tag, heading are tags are six. See h1, now comes to h2, and the most important and most very much important tag of heading is h1 tag. Coding with Rudra. This is the second heading. Now comes to third heading. Coding with Rudra. So these all are our heading tags. There are six heading tags which we cover in our next lectures. Now comes to here we will see body tags open. Now then body tags closed. HTML text is also closed. Now comes to this. So this is the basic syntax of the HTML, and these all are commands. These all are commands. They are used for our help. So if we will open our codes in future, so we will know what is body tag, what is title tag, what is h1 text, why we write these all everything. That's why these all are used. Now comes to the features of HTML. What is the features of HTML? So here it is very easy and simple language, as we seen in our lecture. HTML is very easy and very simple language, and it is very easily understood and the modified. It is a markup language, so provide the flexible way to design the web pages along with the text. It is a platform independent, so we can run this program in Windows, Linux, Macintosh, etc. HTML is a case insensitive. Only HTML attributes are case sensitive. So with HTML attributes only are case sensitive, but the whole structure or whole syntax of HTML is not case sensitive. You can write in a lowercase or uppercase, it's your, but always write in lowercase. It is recommended to all text in a lower for the consistency or readability for etc. Here we will discuss later. Always writes our text in lowercase. So this is all about our lectures. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to